It's no question we look at screens a lot. Phones, televisions, computers, billboards, and even menus. As we continue traversing this digital landscape, we need to stay sharp and see clearly. Part of that, I hear, is blocking out eye-straining blue light so you can keep on scrolling. Nathan, I can see that you're wearing your Azul glasses. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why we want to block blue light?
I'm glad you asked. I am wearing my Azul glasses. I love them. I wear them all the time. In fact, I'm wearing them now because I've been on the computer all day. And that blue light in your phones, your computers, it's similar to the light that's coming out of the sun. It's a UV light, but it causes eye strain and irritation. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's some eye damage that comes from staring at screens for a while.
I've heard that.
So Azul basically has all the protective eyewear that you need to start protecting your vision. And with so many frames to choose from, Azul provides comfort and style at reasonable prices. They bypass the middleman so they can provide you with the most affordable frames at half the price. You can find the right strength for your needs, from ultraviolet light 35% opacity to the darker 93% opacity. And it's just a click away, the perfect pair. Just a click away on the Azul website. You go on, you take their 5-minute quiz. It took me about 4 minutes, so I guess I'm kind of beating the curve there.
Wow,
a little
you're
bit.
speedy.
Yeah, I got really good at taking online quizzes. So thanks BuzzFeed. You select a few frames, and they send you them really quick. Took like 2 to 3 business days. I think maybe shipping is a little backed up right now, but so it goes. And then you just send back any ones that you don't like, and if you don't, find any that match, your style, it's no big deal. They won't charge you for any glasses you don't like. They'll just reimburse you 100% of your purchase.
Wow. It sounds like I may need to get some Azul glasses.
I love them. Obviously, mine are not quite as stylish as some, but that's because I did not choose these out. But I won't point fingers, but my girlfriend and I have very different tastes in which Azul was the stylish one, but we both love them.
See why so many people are raving and wearing their Azuls, and visit their website at azul.com. And for listeners of this program, you can receive 20% off your order by going to azul.com and using code at checkout. That's azul.com and use promo code at checkout.
That's the great thing about stamps.com. They grow with you.
As much fun as I had, I couldn't wait to get back to my Sleep Number bed.
Yep.
I love my Third Love bras. They're hands down the most comfortable bras I've ever owned.
I love making Blue Apron. I love it. It's my me time.
What you heard at the top of this episode was an example pre-roll ad for a fabricated company, Azul Glasses. For our returning listeners, this ad may have sounded jarring and out of place, since our regular episodes are set up to open with an episode intro music, and then our episode content. The sudden launch into an ad can be a turnoff to some listeners, especially when it doesn't fit with the tone of the podcast. In today's episode, Nathan Spell and I are going to share a few ad reads from mock companies, all written by our internal creative team, along with the overall scores that they received from our QA team as we explore what makes a great, compelling ad. And if you really are in the market for blue light filtering glasses, may I suggest our partners over at Movement Watches? Their Everscroll glasses are great at filtering out blue light from any digital screen. So Nathan, how would you have ranked our ad? Does it make you want to buy Azul glasses?
I think my endorsement could have been a little stronger, but we did deliver the points.
You did. You did hit on all of the points. We did play up the cheese factor a little bit in order to make it a little jarring to listen to kind of just jump into. I feel like overall it was a good example of really setting up an ad that people might want to skip over.
Yeah, whenever that ad comes in at the beginning of your show, it's something listeners are almost like hyper aware of now.
Exactly. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the more successful ad reads include some sort of segue from show content. We found that those mid-roll spots tend to perform a little bit better. But I'm really excited to kind of get your feelings on some of the reads that we've prepared today. And I'm hoping that overall, these will serve as good examples to our listeners as to exactly what our internal team is looking at during the QA process.
I'm excited to hear them too.
I should also add that they were really fun to make. So let's jump in with our first ad, which is for a company called One Cup.
Overall, any one of these fountain pens would definitely be a solid purchase if you're looking for a writing experience that's a little more sophisticated without putting yourself out too much.
That's right, folks. The Pen and Rome team is marking this one
stupendous. Sometimes people just need an unbiased opinion, someone to vent to, or a person to share some good news with when no one else is around. The world could use a little more encouragement and shared positivity. Enter One Cup.
One Cup is a friendly community platform where you can send and receive messages of support with helpful people all over the world. Safely and anonymously connect with single-serving friends via chats that are open for just 30 minutes at a time. That's like having a cup of coffee with a friend. No strings attached.
After every conversation, both participants can give kudos for providing a little comfort or some positive advice with sugar points. For future conversations, you'll be matched with other people that have a similar sweetness level.
And anyone can sign up. Why not add some cozy conversation into your day by going to justonecup.com for more information, or just search One Cup in the App Store or Google Play Store today.
Now it's time for our Splotch of the Week, when we share stories of pens and inks that have really smudged things up.
So, what is your overall feeling of this one?
Well, it was very energetic, and I love the idea of the company. If this was a scripted read, it's kind of delivered straight, and that's kind of what you expect. But there's not really much in the way of endorsement, right? So I think that's the biggest issue for me.
Yeah, our QA team agreed. The overall score for this one was a C and a 5.42 on our grading scale, which goes from 0 to 10. The general feedback that they gave was that they wished that the spot had included a personal story about the host using the product, maybe more banter between the two of them, since the banter in the beginning from the show content was so good. They would have liked to have heard the two of them, kind of talking to each other about using the product and how they were using it, especially in the current climate. They felt that the energy picked up kind of about halfway, but it definitely could have benefited from a little more enthusiasm.
Yeah, because that's really jarring when you go in from a really enthusiastic piece of show content into a read that's not as enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm. And it came across as an ad for sure. It's something that I probably would have hit that skip button on. So let's move over to our second ad, which is for a company called Home Cooked.
Feeling like you're in a culinary rut? Are you struggling to find easy, delicious recipes for low-carb or low-sugar diets? Mixing it up in the kitchen while trying to eat better can be hard. There are so many different places to find meal ideas. On top of that, there's keeping up with grocery lists and shopping. When you're trying to meal plan, it can be exhausting. But that's where Home Cooked comes in. Home Cooked is the new app that will help you take meal planning and home cooking to the next level. Search from a huge variety of tested and loved recipes, create weekly menus, and download your shopping lists. In a time crunch, you can even schedule delivery from your favorite grocers. Plus, there are tons of cooking tutorials you can follow along with. It's everything you need in one great app. Discover a whole new way to plan weekly meals. New users can try Home Cooked for free. Simply go to homecooked.com/code and download the app. That's homecooked.com/code. Never a boring dish.
So unfortunately, this spot fell really flat with our QA team.
Yeah, that one, it sounds good. The audio is fine, obviously. The delivery is, the words are correct, but
it was a little dull.
I started to snooze a little bit. I started to nod off.
I think they did as well. This spot received an overall score of a D, or a 4.46 on our scale. And some of the feedback that the QA team gave was that while the host spoke clearly and the spot was well delivered, it did sound like she was reading straight from a script. She being me, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say.
With very little interest in the product. There were several long pauses during the read, and the team didn't find it particularly engaging. It was also too short. It came in at about 58 seconds long, which honestly, that could have been resolved if there had been a personal endorsement. I feel like Home Cooked would be a product that you could easily endorse. I feel like cooking is one of those things that anybody could talk about forever. Even if you don't like it, you can talk about why companies like Home Cooked save you when you're in the kitchen.
And I think what listeners want to hear is that story of this person, this host that they're, they
trust.
Yeah, they trust, and they share a lot of their time listening to them. And then for them to read an ad like that, it does feel like the exact opposite of what you'd want as home cooked, because now, the listener feels like, wow, that company is making this person read this ad. They clearly don't even like the product.
Just phoning it in.
Not ideal.
Yeah, this is definitely one that it could have benefited from an endorsement. Not only would their endorsement score have been higher, but they would have actually reached our minimum requirement for 60-second ads. And, it would have resonated more. People would have wanted to buy the product. This is just a snooze fest.
Yep.
All right. The next one I'm very excited about. This is Booze and Bake.
Oh, boy. Guys, that was my Monday. It was a doozy. I felt like that was important to share so you're not in this alone. It is a incredibly stressful time right now. None of us have gone through something like this. And if you're struggling, it's okay. You don't have to be a superhuman every minute of every day. As adults, we get caught up in our day-to-day responsibilities, and adulthood comes, and I think the magic fades away a little bit. So what I like to do when I find that I need to decompress or I need to breathe for a minute is I like to think about my childhood and simpler times. And growing up, I loved my Easy Bake Oven, which is why I can't wait to tell you about my newest toy, the Booze and Bake Oven. It's an adult reimagining of my favorite toy, and you can make baked delights with a boozy twist. Yes, y'all, let me repeat that for the back of the house. Baked delights with a boozy twist. I ordered it online. It came in a few days ago, and I am so in love with this already. It's got a fun, vintage, compact design. Obviously, I've mostly just been using it at home and giving myself little treatsies here and there. But once this all blows over, believe me, I will be using the convenient little handle to carry this over to my best friend's house for a girls' night. It came with everything I needed to get started. Baking pan, there was a spatula, it came with instructions. It's electric, you guys. I remember being a kid and the light bulb in my Easy Bake Oven would go off and just like screaming, "Mom, my light bulb went out, replace it." It's electric, don't have to worry about it. They also send you single-serve alcohol to spike your treats with, and a cookbook, the Boozy Baker's Guide. So if you want to try some of their different recipes, or if you want to go off the trail and find inspiration, they even send you 3 signature sweet kits. 12 minutes to bake these, y'all, and you are on your way to a luxurious little treat, okay? I tried the champagne mini cupcakes first. They also sent me the deviled booze cake and rum cake balls. They were phenomenal. They were gone within the first day. So you're probably thinking, oh no, what are you doing now? No problem. I can reorder refills anytime on their website. The next ones I'm looking at are Boozy Lava Cake and the Bourbon Barrel Brownie. That one just sounds cool. I can't wait to try it. If you, my friends, want to treat yourself to elevated, playful treats anytime you want, discover the magic of the Boozy Bakery at boozeandbake.com. I went on the website, I used code ARM, and they sweetened the deal a little more with free delivery, and they gave me my first refill kit for free. That's insane, you guys. That's 4 treats. I just went to boozeandbake.com, used the code ARM, and I got that free delivery and that extra free refill kit. Do not wait.
I love this spot.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for.
Yes, I wish that, I wish that Booze and Bake existed. She really sold it to me. Like, if I could go online right now and buy that just based on her recommendation, I absolutely would.
Agreed. And like, as a listener, like you're hearing, you kind of get lost in the ad in the way that you would, like if someone was just telling you, just talking to you about something awesome, as opposed to feeling like, oh, here he is, another time for an ad. It transitioned well from the show content. Yeah, I thought that was really great.
It really did. It had a great segue, and she was very genuine about it.
It was a longer ad, and it didn't feel longer
Mm-hmm.
in comparison to the one that was too short.
It really didn't. There was an enthusiasm and an excitement to it that you wanted to continue listening to her talk about the product.
And then I think by that time, when the CTA comes around, like, you're listening still because you're interested. So whenever that CTA comes, you're like, oh, good, now I know what to do. As opposed to, an ad that maybe was boring you. That CTA is just one more kind of jarring piece of information.
So our QA team absolutely agreed with me and you. This spot actually got the highest evaluation score that ad reads can receive from us. It was an A and a 10. So 10 out of 10, excellent. They really loved that she tied in current events and was able to segue from talking about her week and needing to decompress into the read. They liked not only how she talked about the products that she received, but the ones that she was looking forward to and that she was reordering, and how she couldn't wait to take it to her friend's house for a girls' night. She was super genuine about it. She had a natural flow. It was awesome. This is just top tier. So next on our list, we have Bathhouse.
All right, before we get back into the show, I just have a quick update from a new sponsor that we've got. It's for a company called Bathhouse. Now, we all have favorite spaces where we truly feel ourselves, right? A place to relax and let our thoughts wander. But how many of us would say that that's our bathroom? Bathhouse is the premier expert in everything bathroom, turning water closets into rejuvenating retreats. They provide luxurious feel without luxurious pricing, and they work directly with supply managers so that they can offer you the lowest prices guaranteed. With over 350,000 five-star reviews, Bathhouse is the premier name in interior bathroom fixtures, and they're completely risk-free. Bathhouse is sure your bathroom will quickly become your new escape. Try, experience, and live in your new bathroom for 30 days risk-free. And if you don't love it, Bathhouse provides 100% reimbursement, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Transform your bathroom into the retreat of your dreams today by visiting bathhouse.com to schedule your free consultation.
Let me find what I think about that spot really quick. It's here somewhere.
The fact that he was shuffling his papers to get to his script, that's a big no-no.
Yeah, it screams I'm not actually endorsing this product. I've never actually used it.
Yeah, and it was clear that he didn't even know who he was reading next. He said, we're going to take a break for our sponsor, which is something that we actually ding points for, because you're announcing that you're going into an ad. But not only did he do that, he then shuffled his papers. He shuffled through to his script. So this ad got a C on our scoring scale, a 6.8. It's not the worst, but production value wise, it wasn't great. He delivered the spot fine, but between the shuffling papers, and I don't know if you noticed, there was a little bit of variance in his sound. It went in and out a little bit. And then, just couple that with the fact that he seemed genuinely uninterested, it really knocked him down. Some of our team members suggested that if he wanted to improve his read, he could have checked out the website. He could have called them and spoken to an agent, gotten more information on the process. That's also something that this host could have done when we prep hosts in our onboarding calls. Definitely could have gotten that information then, so he could have been prepared for his ad read. He could have even read client testimonials, but this was very bare bones, very minimal effort. So the final ad that I wanted to share with you is for a company called FreeMe.
In our current digital age, we are connected now more than ever. But is that always a good thing? Research shows that a lot of us will spend up to 6 hours a day on our phones. And while the internet can be a wonderful and magical place, it can cut both ways. But the problem isn't technology, it's the habits we've built around it. FreeMe is a new app that helps you clear the mental space needed to connect with what you care about most. Carve out time for deep work, reading, playing with your kids, exercise, or whatever else you choose. FreeMe temporarily blocks distracting apps and services so you can focus on what matters most in each moment. The application is great and has given me more time in my days to focus on things that really mean something to me, like getting back into drawing and picking up my old jogging routine. It really has freed me. Time is all you have. FreeMe helps you use more of it doing what you care about most. Get a free 30-day trial plus $10 off your first month when you sign up at freeme.com/code. That's 30 days free plus $10 off at freeme.com/code. Freeme. Get clear and be free.
Well, that one was somewhere in the middle for me. I think it definitely sounds kind of jarring like an ad up front. I don't get the sense that he's conversationally leading into the read. There was a pretty good endorsement. It just wasn't super solid. He gave a couple examples, the drawing and taking up the jogging routine that I thought, that gives some context, right? But yeah, it didn't feel as personalized.
I tend to agree with you, but I have been doing this for a while, and I do grade spots a little bit harder, I feel like sometimes. Overall, between our QA team, this spot did receive an A, an 8.63 out of our 10 scoring scale, but the general feedback from the team was that it did lack the energy and the conversational nature that the Booze and Bake spot had, which also received an A. As you said, there is a decent endorsement. I do feel like it could have been stronger, and the team also feels like it could have been stronger. It wasn't horrible. It was just, there was something dry about it.
I think one of the things from the copy side, we try to, really encourage hosts to bring in a lot of real detail to their endorsement. And that, I think that's where the dryness comes from. Like, he gave a couple of examples, but he didn't draw us in to talk about how great it feels to be drawing again. He's felt like he hadn't had time to draw, maybe something like that, where he's telling a story. I think that was lacking.
Yeah, it was definitely lacking the relatability that it really needed for me to want to move forward and download Freeme. We would like to give a special thanks to our creative team, Nathan Spell, Ari Diozone, Kirkland Luther, and Britt Garcia for creating mock clients and scripts for use in this episode.
We'd also like to thank QA team members Sarah Stewart, Akia McFall, Kelsey Utz, and Hannah Lackas for evaluating and offering feedback, as well as thank yous to Jeff Stallings, Zach Brewer, and Britt Garcia for offering their voices to these reads.
If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe for updates on future episodes and leave us a comment with your feedback, questions, or ideas for future segments. If you would like more info on Ad Results Media and what we do, please visit us online at adresultsmedia.com. This podcast is an Ad Results Media production.